Hello everybody, my name's Jay. I'm one of the expert teachers at E2 Language. Let's have a look at IELTS reading. This is a super skills. We're going to look particularly what I think is probably one of the most difficult question types, which is match information. It's one of those question types where you need to read the entire paragraph and then match it to a statement, okay? It's similar to match headings, and it's similar to, there's another one, what I forgot. Anyway, I'll show you. So in IELTS reading, there are 11 question types, and it's very important that you understand all of the different question types. Multiple choice is pretty straightforward. Identifying information or true, false, not given is pretty tricky because there's a sort of logical thing going on there between the difference of false and not given. Same with yes, no, not given. There's matching information, matching headings, and matching features is the other one that I was going to say. What we're going to focus on in this class is the matching information question. Let me explain this one to you, okay? It's a little bit different. The way that I've formatted my slides here are like the computer delivered test. If you're going to take the computer delivered test, which you can in Melbourne, Adelaide, and now Brisbane, I believe, I think it's a good idea to familiarize yourself with the layout because it can be pretty confusing on test day. Trust me, I've done it and I've taken it and it was confusing. Paper-based test one is also confusing. Okay, let's have a close look at this. So this is different. Let's say these are the questions and this is sort of your answer sheet here. You've got your paragraphs. Now there's 1, 2 paragraph. Let's say if you keep going down, there's 3, 4, 5, 6 paragraphs, okay? So what you're going to do and how you're going to answer this question is like this. First of all, I want you to focus on one of the paragraphs. Okay, so let's look at A. And what you're going to do is you're going to look at that column in the table A. And you're going to tick or cross or whatever, smiley face, whatever you want into these columns. For example, this is where you're going to do it. You're going to read the, whoa, what's going on there? Let me try that again. You're going to read this, okay? You're going to read this. Then you're going to ask yourself, the apartment has a half-year lease. This is about an apartment. The apartment is a generous size. An inspection can be booked online. The apartment includes on-site parking. The apartment has wooden floors. So there's going to be one of these. So then you're going to go, okay, the apartment has a half-year lease. You're going to put a tick there, okay? Then you're going to move to B, right? So this is B. You're going to read this paragraph here. Then you're going to read these statements, this information, and you're going to decide which one. And maybe for B, the apartment includes on-site parking, so you'll tick that. That's how you go about doing this question type. This is how it actually looks like on the computer delivered test. It's a bit different on the paper-based test. It's a bit more straight. Well, actually it's not. It's still quite confusing. Anyway, the principle of what you're going to learn and practice tonight will apply to both tests. We're also going to do general reading and academic reading. If you're doing academic, I want you to stick around and do the general first because it's really good practice, okay? It's effectively the same question type with somewhat simpler material. And if you're doing the general test, I want you to stick around and do the academic reading as well. It's the same question type, but the material's a little bit more complex. So it's still going to be really good practice. Anyway, I'm going to be timing you and I want you to do as well as you can. Let's start with IELTS general reading. It's going to be good for everybody. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to do this one here. By the way, down here it says secure entrance, that bottom one. It's a bit obscured. 30 seconds left. Okay, we're now going to move to the next ones. You should have got the answers by now. Here we go. Let's do C and D. Thirty seconds left. Okay, we're now going to move on and look at the last two advertisements, E and F. Thirty seconds left. Okay. All right, that's 6 minutes. So that's a minute per question. Just let me have a look how you're going here. Da, 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 da. Okay. Is everything okay in Zoom? Can you just type in okay into the chat if everything's okay? Yeah? Okay, great. Maybe you're just writing all your answers down on paper. All right, awesome. No problem. How did you go, by the way? There were 6 questions there. Cool. All right. So, okay, somebody wants the YouTube link there. No problem. I'll paste the YouTube link into Zoom. Just bear with me. Okay, I've just pasted the YouTube link into Zoom. I'm going to turn off the chat in Zoom so you can just talk to me. Okay, Krishna says, I'm confused about this particular question type. Understandably. This one is a real trick, both on the computer and on paper. This is a really tricky one. So let's have a look at it. General, slightly easier. We're going to do academic next. It'll be more difficult. Let's go through and look at the answers here. Actually, no, let's go back and do it from here. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to firstly understand what's going on. It says, look at the 6 rental notices A to F, A, B, C, D, E, F, for example. For which rental apartment are the following statements true? So here are the statements. The apartment has a half-year lease. So what I want to do is I want to read this statement, this advertisement, and I want to see if it has any information saying anything about a half-year lease, or that the apartment is a generous size, or that an inspection can be booked online, or that the apartment includes on-site parking, or that the apartment has wooden floors, okay? So then what I quickly do is I scan read A, okay? This great, recently refurbished 2-bedroom apartment is located on the first block in a quiet block, immaculately presented throughout, features include blah, 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 blah. Fine. That's the way you do it. Then you go here and you say, okay, did it mention anything about a half-year lease? No. Did it mention anything about the apartment being a generous size? No. Did it mention anything about an inspection that can be booked online? No. Did it mention anything about on-site car parking? No. Did it mention anything about wooden floors? Well, it certainly says here, timber floors. Here it says the apartment has wooden floors. So for A, I would have put across here. Let's have a look at the answers and see if I've actually got that right. Yay, very good. So number 5 should be A. The apartment has wooden floors because in the advertisement it says here, timber floors. This brings us to the first little trick that you need to understand, which is that there's going to be a synonym in the advertisement. They're going to use 2 different types of words that mean the same thing. The statement will say wooden, the advertisement will say timber. They mean the same thing, they're saying the same thing, and that's how this part of the test works. Cool. Here we go, B. Well, the apartment has a half-year lease. What's another way to say half-year? How about 6 months? Because here it says 6-month lease. Here it says the apartment has a half-year lease. You need to look at this vertically. B, number 1 is B, and that's what you'd write on your answer sheet, 1B. Cool. Let's look at C. Well, apparently C, the apartment is a generous size. Have a look at the first sentence of C. It says, bathed in natural light, this spacious top floor apartment. Spacious and generous size. That sounds pretty good to me. That sounds like a synonym. That sounds like number 2 is C. Or you can think about it like this. C is number 2, right? Let's have a look at D. The apartment includes on-site parking. Well, if you look down here at this little dot point here, it says separate European laundry and a secure basement car park. Basement car park, on-site parking, D and number 4. 4D. That's the correct answer there. I hope you're doing well, by the way. Let's see E. Well, apparently E has wooden floorboards as well, because the other thing that you need to pay attention to is this little thing here that says you may choose any letter more than once. Now we've already seen one that had wooden floorboards, timber floorboards, and now we've seen another one and we can select it again here because it says, where does it say? Oh yeah, beautiful timber floors are the highlight, blah, blah, blah. The apartment has wooden floors. So you can do number 5E. Number 5E. That's fine. And F, the last one, apparently with this apartment, an inspection can be booked online. So it's 3F or F3, because if you look down here where the little asterisk is, it says to register to inspect, please click virtual tour or book inspection, blah, 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 blah. An inspection can be booked online. Here we've used the noun, and here we've used the verb form, to inspect and inspection. So not quite a synonym, but a different word form there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What was your score out of 6, by the way? How many did you get right? Four, 6, 6, 5, 4, 6, 6, 3, 5, 5, 4, 5, 6, 5, 5, 6, 4. Awesome. Well done. Cool. That's good. Now, for those of you who want to stick around and do the academic reading, we're going to use the same format. I'll explain it again because I know it's like super confusing and it took me ages to even think, what's going on here? Let's have a look at the academic one now, okay? And I'll explain it again. This time I'll use this one to explain it. Okay. So, the way that you want to look at this is you want to read paragraph A, okay? Paragraph A says, taking part in a hot chili pepper eating contest might have some unexpected consequences. Highlight doctors. Their warning comes after a young man ended up in emergency care with excruciatingly painful episodic headaches after eating a Carolina Reaper, the world's hottest chili pepper. Okay, so effectively, what you're asking yourself is, in this paragraph, is this information in A? Is this information in A? Is this information? Is this information in A? Which of these bits of information are in here? Okay, that's what you're effectively finding out. So then what you do is you look down A, because we're looking at A here. Now it might be number 1, it might be number 2, it might be number 3, but you need to look downwards, okay? Which of these bits of information is here in A? I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do this. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Away you go. I want you to do A, B, and C, please. Or, yes, do A, B, and C. 30 seconds left. All right. Just before we continue on, somebody asked in YouTube live question, which is a great question. Is it A2 or is it 2A, for example? This is why this is so confusing. Because logically, you're thinking, okay, you want to go with the letter first because you go from paragraph to information. So whatever it is, A3, for example, right? But actually on test day, on your answer sheet, if you're doing the written test, you have to do then 1, 2, 3A. You have to reverse it. So it doesn't make much sense. It makes sense the other way around to go A3, not 3A. But you'll work it out. On test day, it does make sense with the answer sheet. Basically, it's always number first. It's always number first. And the letter will come second, okay? If you're doing the computer-delivered test, this is exactly what it looks like on test day. And it's extremely confusing, right? But it's the same thing. Anyway, let's have a look at the second part here. I'll give you another 3 minutes. Actually, this one's a bit shorter. I'm just going to give you 2 minutes to do this part. Okay, that's over 2 minutes. How's it looking on the Zoom there? Okay, nice, good. Okay, nice. 1C, 2D, 3A, 5B. Okay, let's check the answers. Now, just a word of warning. I wrote this one in about, I reckon it took me about an hour and a half, maybe a little less, to write this. When IELTS write theirs, it takes them months and they have a full team. And the reason they do that is because they don't make any errors, right? It's like foolproof. Now, Jay's ones might have some errors. You may disagree. I'm happy to talk about that Anyway, I hope it's been good practice. Let's have a look at the answers. There may be some errors in this, okay? So, let's have a look at these answers. First of all, paragraph A. Taking part in a hot chili pepper eating contest might have some unexpected consequences, highlight doctors. Their warning comes after blah, blah, blah. So that, paragraph A, the information 3, a word of warning from medical experts, I think is the best fit there. So if you got 3A or A3, well done. Next one, let's look at B. His symptoms started immediately after he had eaten a chili with dry heaves, but he then developed severe neck pain and crushingly painful headaches, each of which lasted just a few seconds over the next several days. His pain was so severe that he sought emergency care and was tested for various neurological conditions, the results of which all came back negative. The description of the effects of the chili, right? In other words, the symptoms. So paragraph B connects with number 4, so 4B. Right, have a look at paragraph C there. Have a look at the RCVS. Apparently RCVS stands for Reversible Cerebral Vasoconstriction Syndrome, is characterized by, have a look at the information there. Is it number 1, the explanation of a medical term, for example? That seems pretty good. I think paragraph C has the information, the explanation of a medical term in it. Therefore, it's 1C. Cool. All right. That's fine. So we're still missing 2, 5, and 6. And we've got B, E, and F. Let's have a look at these ones. So D, paragraph D. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is my mistake, which I'm about to fix right now because that one should be a medical first. Yes, that's better. So don't freak out if you didn't get that one right. That's Jay's editing skills. And the answer here, this makes better sense. Let's read the paragraph D. It says, this is the first case to be associated with eating chili peppers, explain the authors. Although they point out that eating cayenne pepper has been linked to blah, 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 blah. D, 2, a medical first. That makes sense. Or 2D, in other words. Let's have a look at E. Well, forget that little cross up there. That's wrong. Let's look at E. Given the development of symptoms immediately after exposure to a known vasoactive substance, it is plausible that our patient had RCVS secondary to Carolina Reaper, write the authors. 6, the acknowledgement of a possible cause. It is plausible that blah, 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 blah. So number 6 is E. If you got 6E, you are doing extremely well. The final one, drum roll, is, and this, let me get rid of this one here because that's in fact wrong. It's actually here. The final one, F. The man's symptoms cleared up by themselves, and a CT scan 5 weeks later showed that his affected arteries had returned to their normal width. That connects to the information in number 5, a restoration of health. So in fact, it's 5F. Now, before you decide that that's it, you hate J, you hate all of this, you hate IELTS reading, it's so tricky, this stuff. It's not just the reading that's tricky, it's how they actually set this stuff out on the paper in order to test you that is extremely tricky. Half the battle is actually understanding what you're looking at, and the other half of the battle is actually reading and thinking, okay, that's the answer, that's the answer. But trying to work out how to fill out these things sometimes is just, whoa. Actually happened to me on test day, which wasn't good. This particular question, and that's why I wanted to give it to you tonight. So yeah, cool. All right. Just before I go to Q&A and answer some questions, if you guys need help with your IELTS test, IELTS General or IELTS Academic, check out www.e2language.com. If you're not a free member, you can sign up for free right now to get access to some free practice materials. Cool. That's all. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for coming along. And I hope you have a good evening or afternoon or morning.